Bienvenido a nuestro espectacular. Still hungover from Cinco de Mayo. Welcome to our show, A Gentleman's Take, a video podcast that offers more refined and sophisticated view on everything in this journey we call life.
All from the perspective of a gentleman.
I'm your host, J.D. Denbow, and this is my enriching co-host,
Mac.
What's up, man?
Good to see you again.
Good to see you. And good to see you. Here is a little bit of what you can expect on today's show. We are going to tackle a variety of subjects and activities and offer our take on them. Or as they say in the common tongue, sitting around and shooting the shit. Is that about right?
Absolutely what we do best.
Welcome to today's episode, and I would like to go ahead and reintroduce our previous gentleman guest. This is Chris Denbow. Welcome.
Cue applause.
Thank you. Gentlemen, thank you again for welcoming me back. Glad to be back.
Yeah, it's by popular demand, I might add.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Yeah, Mom said I had to.
Right. She's my one fan.
Right.
Thank you.
But no. Your previous episode sparked a lot of conversation, especially with the Tesla and Elon Musk.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And there are people
it's
at
a
work
hot topic. Hot take.
Oh man, yeah. It caused quite the conversation at work, and
well, hopefully we spark more conversation after this episode.
Yeah, good, bad, and indifferent. Either way. So, yeah. So what you been up to lately?
Mostly work, eat, sleep. Living the dream. Spending a lot of time doing some more photo shoots. I've been doing a lot of street walking, photo walking downtown and the surrounding areas. So that's what I do on my spare time is photography.
Nice.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I think I saw you did a shoot today.
Just today. Yep. I had to get out there before it got too hot.
Do I have permission to post photos on screen right now to show them what you did?
Absolutely.
Today?
Please. Thank you.
Ding. Well, as we are here on today's show, this is part of the final 5 for the season. We are on a countdown now for the 4 remaining ones after this. So, Chris, thanks for being a part of the end of season 1 May finale.
Wow. That's amazing.
2 times, 1 season. Definitely trying to get all the points that he can towards that Guest of the Year award.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we'll have a word show probably. But
how many episodes total are you?
I think we'll probably end at about 24.
Yeah, 24.
That's
well, now we have to.
Amazing first season.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and like as we stated on at the end of the previous episode, we're just gonna revamp and also enjoy the summer vacation.
There you go.
So,
you both have earned it.
Get a little bit of juice back in the system.
So yeah. Other than that, we'll still probably launch the secondary show that we had mentioned as well. So maybe we'd like to get you on that one too.
I'd be happy to.
Okay, less clothing will be required.
I'll be happy to.
Us too. Anyway, no. So as we just go ahead and right into our segments.
Somebody say nipple tassels.
Would that be a comeuppance or a reward?
I'm thinking comeuppance from my perspective. Nobody wants to see me rocking nipple tassels.
I don't know. We have some audience members.
I would pay good money to see that. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just get right into our pop culture. Sorry, I look at you now, all I see is my eye. We're going to go ahead and go right into pop culture. And Mac, have you seen any good movies lately?
I watched one of the movies so far that you've suggested to me, that Interstellar movie.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it.
Interstellar, huh?
And I liked it.
You liked it?
I did like it, yeah.
Man, I was hoping you would.
So thumbs up.
Yeah, I would give it a thumbs up. I think that it was...
Would you give it 2 tassel twirls?
I would give it 3 tassel twirls. Yeah. I think overall they did a great job of trying to stay as scientific based as possible. I think they did a good job. There were obviously some Hollywood stretches that I would not necessarily think align with science, but overall the movie was good.
Is it a stretch? Because it's all theory, right? So you don't know if it's a stretch or not.
A lot of it is, okay, so I'm talking about the stretches that we know are stretches.
Okay.
As well as the movie stretches. So like The wormhole thing. Okay, wormholes. We have not detected wormholes in our own galaxy or other galaxies, so we just scientific. Like, I do like in the movie how they explain a wormhole, because most people that know what they're talking about, like if you talk to an astrophysicist or somebody who knows what they're talking about when it comes to the theory around wormholes, they would explain it the same exact way it was explained in the movie.
Yes.
So I think that was very good for just a person who has no idea of the galaxy or the inner workings of what they're talking about. It was a great explanation. Just stick to the basics, explain it the same way that they would explain it, because that's the easiest way to envision it.
Yeah.
So that was great.
They stuck to their own.
But little things like, okay, I might be a stickler, but the spaceship that they take into space and then they dock it to the station and the station moves as a whole, that is not a good way for it to move through the galaxy. Like the whole, like, it spins in circles and then propels itself forward. Like all the wasted energy to spin in circles to move forward, like, doesn't make any sense. Like, that's just a lot of wasted energy. Because when you're in space, basically the way that you move is you expel force in a direction that pushes you in the opposite direction, because there's nothing for you to move off of. There's nothing interacting with you. So to spin in a circle is using force to go in that circle, but it's not pushing you or propelling you forward, which I think was what they were visually going for. Is it's the circular motion is propelling them forward, but that's absolutely factually inaccurate.
Scientifically, I have a question which it's going to deviate just for a second.
Okay.
So let's say I'm in space and you guys know me, and I have just a delicious batch of bean chowder. And if I'm just sitting there just floating and I have one of those space shattering farts, will that propel me forward at all?
Absolutely will.
I mean, I think that you would be surprised at the amount of forward you would go, but it's not necessarily that you would go forward or not forward. It's the fact that once you fart yourself in a direction, the limitless direction is existent. So I mean, that one fart limitlessly propels you.
I can't believe we're discussing this topic as a gentleman, but I'll go ahead and dip in there. Based on your angle, the trajectory, you won't go forward. You actually go into a tailspin.
I was wondering if I'd be doing that.
Literally tail spin.
Okay. Well, that was just my personal curiosity, but back to the interstellar physics. So when you're talking about, there was the science behind it, the wormholes, the black holes, and how it affects time and distorts time. Because in the film, like I said, you could be one spot and time will move normal for us. But if you're by the black hole, let's say they propelled forward, 25 years?
Okay, so that I'm 99.9% sure. You'd have to Google it or research it, but I'm pretty sure that that's called time dilation. And that's based upon the amount of gravity that is present in any given place. So one of the biggest problems that I have with the movie is, so relativity is based around that time dilation. So they're saying that the mass outside of the planet is 25 times less. Well, I think it's much more than that when you break down the math, but every hour spent on the planet was how many hours on the planet?
I think it was 7 years, wasn't it?
7 years.
Yeah.
So 7 years for every hour outside.
So they were on there for a little over 3 hours, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So the dude in space, aged 25 years. Now, what they didn't ever talk about was wherever the spaceship was had to be the exact same as Earth. They didn't mention that.
But it has to be constant.
They would have had to have the same exact gravity as Earth for them to, like, yes, the spaceship versus the people on the planet, that could have been a 25-year difference. But that guy that aged 25 years in relation to the Earth was supposedly the same. So they go through a wormhole, and there's no relativity involved in any of that. They go through space travel, and there's no relativity involved in that. But then this planet, there is. So that was weird to me. But
so let's keep it close to home. The time dilation theory is actually not theory.
Right.
It's not, because the International Space Station or satellites in geosynchronous orbit around the Earth, they are actually slower. They're actually lagging behind us.
Correct.
So they're actually older. Those geosynchronous objects in space are older than we are.
Correct. So that was why I said when they went out and embarked on their mission, they did not do any relativity math for the entire travel to include the around the black hole, any of that, except for just from the spaceship to the planet and then back. Like, that's the only relativity that they accounted for. So, like, what you were saying with time dilation, that is relativity, and that's been proven to be true. Like, we know that that's a fact, and you could do the math. I don't know the exact math. I mean, I'm not that scientific that I could break that down. I'm not an astrophysicist, but at the end of the day, there is a lot of math that comes into play. So I didn't check the math on whether or not, or how much gravity would have to be present.
That might have taken away from your viewing experience.
But at the end of the day, I know that if they were going to take relativity into it from the spaceship to the planet and back, they should have done it for the whole trip, because they would have probably been aging faster all the way out to include being on the planet and then back. So I don't know. That part had me a little bit
So one of the other aspects of that film on a scientific level I'd like to talk about is so they're by the black hole, which causes the time. What was it called? Time what?
Dilation.
Dilation. Thank you. And so he goes into the black hole, and then you're like, oh gosh, we don't know anything about that. What would happen? So we do know. Well, but the way that it was presented though in the film, I had to kind of just sit there for a second. So what the film is saying is he was just floating down, seeing things, and what they're suggesting is he was in the fifth dimension, outside of time. And because he was outside of time, he met these beings that were so advanced. I think they were advanced because of what he did.
In the future.
Way in the future. So they're outside of time, and time is just but a simple construct at this point. So because of this, he's trying to think, well, how do we get out of this? How do we make this whole thing work? So he introduces what is called the bootstrap paradox. Google it. As a nod to my boy there. Anyway, so that's the bootstrap paradox, if you're unfamiliar with the term. Best way I can describe it, let's say you're a time traveler and you want to go meet your hero, let's say Beethoven. So you go back in time to meet Beethoven, and you've got all his music, everything for him to sign, autograph, do a selfie, cool, whatever. But you get there, Beethoven's not there. You start asking around. No one's heard of him. And you're like, what's going on? So and you're like, you can't imagine a world now without Beethoven. So you still have, the time traveler still has all the music, all the notes, and everything. So he copies all the concerts, all the concertos, everything, and then gets them published. And in essence, becomes Beethoven to preserve Beethoven. So the question is, who really composed Beethoven's Fifth?
Beethoven.
Exactly, but if there was no Beethoven initially, and he had to be the one to do it. So the question, where that pertains to Interstellar, is he went back, he basically could see, because he was outside of time, could look at, he was communicating with his childhood daughter, teenage daughter, I should say, and he is doing, because you see these things happen in the beginning of the film, it's like, what is that? Is that some kind of a ghostly apparition? What is this communication thing? And you realize it's him from the future communicating. But because technically that hasn't happened yet, and he's outside of time and doing that now, I mean, it's just the bootstrap paradox is, how could that be possible if it hasn't happened yet? And how do you feel about that? You know what I'm saying when it comes to that?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
The paradox itself?
Yeah.
It's a trope that's used in a lot of sci-fi.
Yeah, I think it's an out.
It's an out.
I think it's an out.
Was it a good one for this film?
It's the only way that the film could make sense. And it make it to where there's this big, like, mysterious, oh, gotcha moment. Mm-hmm. But from the moment they start going towards the black hole, I kind of checked out.
That's when it breaks down.
That's a Hollywood overreach, if anything. Yeah. That kind of tore away. Like I said in the beginning, I like the movie, but it's because I'm not going to hold the black hole piece against them. Like, if you were to get near a black hole, you would be torn atom from atom, and especially as a human, like, it tears stars. It tears planets, atom from atom. I mean, have you ever heard of spaghettification?
Yes.
It'll eat planets, and then it's so much mass that it's pulling in that it literally explodes some of it out and then pulls it back in. But it half ate and disassembled the planet already, and then it just some of the mass escapes and then it pulls it back. So like a black hole is as big as it is, right? And then all the mass that it takes into it fits inside that. That's why it has so much mass, is because it's literally taking, okay, I've got this planet's mass now, I have this planet's mass now, I've got this one, I've got this star now, and it just keeps gaining more and more mass. That's why nothing can escape it, is because there's nothing that can control that much mass that's near it. You get what I'm saying? So
yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's like the fact that a human could go into it and like not get spaghettified or whatever you want to say, is just it's an overreach.
Even me, as I was watching this in theaters, which was really cool, by the way, big screen. I was just like, it took me out of it, but you had to roll with it, and it's like, okay, our connection is love, or the quantification is love. I can't remember what the line was, but either way, yeah, you roll with it.
And even if I could go with them on that journey and say, okay, you can get into a black hole, right? And you can exist outside of time and space, and you would never be able to get out. Like the amount of energy that would be necessary to get out of a black hole, if you weren't ripped atom from atom, would be something that we don't.
Well, that's where the technology of our
you can't calculate that.
The technology of our future people. They have the technology to do that, to place you at any point in time, since they're outside of time. So technically, you're not even in the black hole anymore. It was almost like a door to outside of the fifth dimension.
But that would so you're basically saying that there was a wormhole out of the black hole. There was a wormhole that was in the black hole that you could escape the black hole.
Well, that's how the movie kind of put it across, because he went in there and all of a sudden it didn't matter, a black hole or not. He wasn't ripped apart. It's almost like it was a portal versus an actual black hole. Outside, it had the physics of a black hole as we know it. He gets in there and it's like, oh, hey, Jersey.
Well, you wouldn't even. The whole thing is you wouldn't even breach a black hole.
Exactly.
There would be no, you're outside of it and now you're inside of it. It would start tearing you apart before you even got close to it.
So
you'd already be atoms.
That makes sense why he would be able to get out of the black hole then, just because obviously at that point in time it is the Hollywood thingy, the easy out, if you will.
I like Interstellar. It's a good movie.
Man.
I enjoy the director and all of his work. And it is one of the more scientifically accurate conceptions or depictions of time travel.
Yeah.
However, but it is still Hollywood, and
everything
it still
has
breaks
its flaws.
down. Right.
You broke down the big science portions. There were also, but you talk about the cool moments, was the idea behind these planets they went to, the sci-fi aspect of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The water planet, where talking about the mountains.
What's his name being the piece of shit?
Yeah. Matt Damon.
Matt Damon being an absolute piece of shit. But
What
honestly,
a coward.
What do you mean coward?
Well, no. Like, okay, so I get why he is the way he is. I sympathize with that. It's just that whole, when he let him out to die, Matthew McConaughey, and then he says the words, "I can't look. I thought I could, but I can't." It's awesome.
Okay, that's kind of messed up. But I mean,
well, just think about it. I mean, you dedicated your life. You knew this was a one-way trip. Then all of a sudden,
It goes wrong.
You're there and you regret your choice.
Yeah,
and
I don't blame him.
All of a sudden, there's a way out, a potential way out.
well,
It makes sense, right?
Yeah.
if he
Second chance.
because he
Absolutely.
knew what it was in the beginning, so he had more information than they had.
Yeah.
So whenever he went out there, like, he's only seeing option B as the option, and he's going to do everything in his power to make sure option B pans out.
Who's not going to take it?
I mean, he needs to do it. I don't fault him for doing it. I just wish that he wouldn't have been like. I mean, he could have.
It was a good twist.
He could have taken them out at the very beginning and just like not done the whole, hey, we're gonna go, out here in the wilderness, and then like that was kind of
That was the
cowardly.
one that had like the floating ice cloud mountains on the planet,
Yeah.
right? That was cool.
That was cool. Although that makes no sense.
But from a sci-fi
I was
perspective,
gonna leave that one alone.
Like,
the
ooh,
floating ice
What
clouds.
kind of like Avatar, those floating islands? Yeah.
that was very Legend of Zelda.
The density does not add up.
Or Mario Brothers.
The scene, it's the Mushroom Kingdom, but which has made well over $1 billion now. But the scene in the space station where they have to redock and it's got this super spin going on, that whole scene, I was getting nauseous in theaters because I was doing the same thing, going, oh. But when she passed out doing the, I thought that was great, and the music was intense, and just a great cinematic moment. I work with somebody, or used to work with somebody, that said the film was just stupid. I'm like, how could you think the film's stupid? It's smarter than you are.
I really liked the water planet. I thought that was a cool take.
In that sense of, that sense of impending doom, and you realize you don't have any time, and because it's coming, that had my heart
He's like,
pumping.
that's not mountains. That's going away from us. And then he turns around. And he's like, I need to look at the back of this ship. And then he goes to the back. He's like, oh crap, here we go.
That was it's not a moon, it's a space station moment, but for the modern age. The other thing that cracked me up about the movie, it's a little thing, was he was all about his daughter Murph, right?
Yep.
You know, I don't know how many times he's like Finn in Star Wars, where he keeps screaming Rey, or Shia in Transformers, Optimus. How many times are they going to do that? He kept screaming Murph, 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 and he's so about his daughter, and then you realize he didn't give two shits about the son in comparison.
No, and that I think we were talking about this a little
Luigi
bit earlier.
Affleck.
It's like almost every movie, and it's a lot in real life too. But in a lot of movies, they build it up to where like one child is the obvious one that the parent cares about, and the other one is always like searching for their affection. I mean, look at how jaded that dude was at the end of the movie. Like he was pretty much like, I don't really care about my wife and family. Like I'm just here to farm, and dad gave up on us, and he fought his whole life to try to make him happy, and he just abandoned him. But he was constantly on the thing, trying to send him messages and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah,
After
yeah.
so many years, he gave up.
Like,
but
yeah,
he was jaded at that point. But he was always searching for his dad's affection, and he was searching for his dad to care about him. But he just always
too
chose
focused.
Murph. Like he didn't go through a single one of the rooms that had his son in it to look for him. He was just like, I'm gonna talk to Murph because she's actually gonna do something.
Because Murph was the one who could figure it out.
The quantifiable
because
connection.
She was exactly.
So
I mean, but
Yeah.
but the fact he could have given his son
But
like a talk, like,
he was
hey,
you
need to be a man.
emotionally charged. So you can't be both emotionally charged and be thinking about just the logistical. This is what I need to do.
You know
to
what
get
the
the
real
job
twist?
accomplished. So it's like
The real twist could have been
disconnect.
with the whole time distortion and everything, and complete BS, by the way. What if it was revealed that Matt Damon was actually his son? Somehow he got there first looking for his father. All right, Dad, and turns on him. And another thumbs down for me in that film was Anne Hathaway. I was not a big fan of her character or how it was acted.
I don't like her in general. So
Right.
I was just like,
She was okay as
please
Catwoman.
stop.
I liked her in that movie. I
Oh, you
really
did?
did.
You did?
I did. I mean, she was no nonsense. There was a mission to accomplish, right? And it was a very dire mission. It had catastrophic consequences.
She was no nonsense,
Almost
except
wish
for
we
the
had a different
fact that
actress
her heart was driving her to make choices. Like
Yes.
she was no nonsense. Had it not been for my dude's on this planet, I want to go to that planet for that reason, I would have been all about it. Like
sure.
She'd have been exactly like Matt Damon in a different realm.
Right.
So before we move on, I just read something last night before I went to bed, actually. I was just doing my usual wrap-up, and I caught something on the pop culture side of things when it comes to movies. So they're making a movie. Specifically, Ridley Scott is making a movie sequel to one of his greatest films of all time, Gladiator.
I love the movie Gladiator.
Wow.
Gladiator is one of my top films.
Yeah. Maximus Aurelius.
Oh, dude.
I mean, yeah, are you not entertained? I mean,
Oh, you're not entertained. I say that probably too much.
Not enough, actually. You need to say it more often.
I say it a lot.
That's one of the greatest films. One, not the best of all time, but one of the greatest of all time. It's worth a watch. Go have fun. But I read 15 years ago, he was talking about doing a sequel where it focuses on Lucius, the boy that was what's her name's son.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be about him and how he's inspired by
Sister Banger Boys. Nephew, right?
the Joker's kid, nephew, yeah. And so it's going to focus on that, but I was like, well, why? Why do that? And I've heard news on and off for 12 years about it. And then last night, it's officially in production. Gladiator 2.
No, don't mess up all my things I like.
Well, here's the thing. It's going to be
it
Ridley
doesn't
Scott.
need a sequel.
No, there's a lot of things that, now, there's certain times when we get sequels to some movies, it's nice to be in that world again, but it's not wholly unnecessary.
Gladiator pretty much wrapped up all the loose ends.
Yeah.
Let's just leave it lie. Don't f it up.
There's I have a guy I work with who is a huge fan of that film as well, and he's going to be devastated when he hears this news about Gladiator 2. So here's who's going to star in Gladiator 2.
No.
Everybody's favorite Chilean, Pedro Pascal, will be the star of Gladiator. Pedro Pascal is the hot item right now as far as Hollywood. So everyone's like, yeah, we need him in everything, brother. So you're going to have Denzel Washington.
Yay.
Which I love Denzel, but let's see. Connie Nielsen will reprise her role as the sister. Russell Crowe's friend in that first film, he's coming back. You have some guy named Paul Mescal who is playing Lucius, which I'm like, well, the kid that played Lucius is grown up now and he's still an actor, but maybe he's not that good of an actor. I don't know. I saw him in Glass.
So you think that I'd want to see it, but it just increases the likelihood that it ruins things for me.
Yeah. I'm scarred. I don't think it gets any crazier than that. Let's go ahead and get into the crazy take.
So, given these two options, tell me which one you'd prefer. So, either option A, at least once a week in a public space, you take out your phone and full blast, it's on pornography and everybody hears it, right? Have you ever seen something like that? where somebody like pulls. This all spawns from a conversation I had with somebody at work. They said that they were talking to somebody and they were saying, you need to Google it. And so they pulled out their phone and they went to type and it was just porn. And it was just like loud, aggressive, just like pornography on their screen. They're like closed out. And they said they felt too awkward to mention it because it makes it awkward for everybody in the room. So that happens to you on your phone in public once a week at minimum. And it takes you 5 seconds to get it off. Or option B, an anonymous person emails a homemade video that you made with somebody in the bedroom that you did not know existed. They email it to all your family and friends, and they all know that it exists and see it. Which would you rather have happen to you?
What's happening in the video?
Sexual intercourse.
Oh.
Of all different types.
Relations.
Yeah. The dirtiest of the dirty. Enough for her to record it.
I wouldn't know what that is. Well, it depends. Okay, so let me go down this one route, real quick route.
Okay.
I would pick option B if and only if I did very good work. Like
So, next time you see your daddy daps you up, he's like, "Good job, son. You took it to her."
That's right. Thanks for the jeans.
Like, dude.
If I'm held in high regard and oh my gosh, and you get done watching that 4 hours later and
4 hours.
that's like what a video. That was almost like top that Ridley Scott. He's the gladiator.
You've got chimpanzees flying around and all kinds of crazy shit.
We brought in a petting zoo, but so yeah. If that were the case, then yeah, I would definitely go that route. But I'm gonna go ahead and go with the. I already can tell we're going to up this. I'll go with the 5 seconds of trying to get the loud, aggressive, offensive pornography on my phone turned off. That's what I would do because, I've been in a scenario like that before, not with pornography, where I have like a text tone has a swear word in it. Like whenever my wife texts me, I have it's a clip from Deadpool where it goes shit. And I have been like either at church. I have been at.
That's embarrassing.
I've had it. Well, I think I had that one actually. I was like shit. I was actually sitting on it, my phone, and so I felt it and I kind of heard it. But I'm like, thank God. And then I was at like a Michael's or something, and this family was walking by and these children, and my phone goes shit really loud. I'm like, I started looking around like, who would do that?
So you don't like embarrassment? Oh, I can't even imagine if you were in church
No,
and your
no,
pastor's
no.
trying to get your number, or like, hey, write my number down, and you pull out your phone, all of a sudden you're just like,
It's not that I don't like
I'm
embarrassment.
going to hell, sir. I'm leaving.
Thanks for having me. I don't have a fear of embarrassment per se. It's just that if it's in a setting like church, then it's just like, oh my gosh, that's the worst place possible. But for the most part, if you're talking about any crowded place or if it just happened to be church, I would still rather do that than have a video of my amazing video go out for everyone else to see, because that's temporary and I can move on. If it's people I don't know, let's say if it's not church, we'll get over it.
No,
Well,
based on your scenario, it happened frequently, right?
Yeah, is it really temporary? Because you're saying it's temporary, but that's
did I
that's
miss-
actually the long-lasting one. Because
Oh,
it
did it
happens
every
all
time?
the time.
Oh,
It happens weekly.
then I missed that part when you explained it. So then I still would do that.
Okay. So you picked it because it's temporary, but it's not temporary. You'd still pick it. Got it.
I can always be like, sorry,
So what if I told you?
it's my video. It's me.
What if I told you? Which side are you on?
I would go B. I absolutely would.
Just
It's like a one-time
friends and
thing.
family see.
Sure. I
the
mean,
whole
they know it's natural. They know I'm a red, hot-blooded man. You know, they know it's going to happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So get it over with, as opposed to the frequency of option A.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
What if I told you that your family would not see your video, but everybody else does? Would that change your outcome?
I have stated many times on the show, I don't care what anybody else thinks. So let's say I'm this glamorous gladiator, as I dubbed myself to be, or if I'm just the opposite, if I'm Joaquin Phoenix and the sad, pathetic Joker, then either way, you can taunt me, you can say whatever I don't care. I don't care. I'll either say you're welcome or you're welcome. That's it. I'll go that route. If my family never saw it, I would do it.
The porn one.
I would do option B. I would have my video get out there for the world to see. Maybe it'll get us some views and subscribers. Something's gotta. And
Or it would subtract them. They'd be like, you know what? I can't see him in the same
now
light
down to
anymore.
5 exclusive viewers.
Gentlemen, my ass.
I had the hat on.
I was with him till the Angry Dragon. At that point, I was like, no.
We're not going to put a picture on screen. Anyway, so yeah, I would change it up if my family didn't see it.
I figured it was the family piece that was throwing you off.
It's a dignity thing. You know, I don't want like kids, nephews, and everybody, because it'll be, the internet would be forever when it came to that.
But it's the internet. It's going to get buried because there's so many more videos to watch, right?
That's true. But then you'll be on Twitter and you'll have some commenter go, "This
No,
you?"
no. There's much more attractive people out there than I am, right? They don't want to see me. They want to see the more attractive people. So
Yeah.
I'm good on that one because, like I said, it'll get buried.
Let's be honest. If you didn't know it was recorded anyways, like with the original hypothetical, if you didn't know it was recorded, it's like one position, one angle, like probably dimly lit.
It's probably like a poor.
It's not.
The
gonna
phone's
be-
on the dresser. All you see is like a foot.
It's not great quality. You just get to see like butt cheeks or something the whole time.
And so yeah,
Or let's be honest, just beard. Yeah.
Which beard? But that's an ass furrow. No. But so I would then have to live with things like, why did you cry? You know, the questions like that. You know,
Why did you cry? Why must I cry?
it's
Why
a
must I
deeply
cry? Why?
sensual experience. I'm very sensitive.
As a woman, if somebody cried after whatever, would that not just be like the biggest deal breaker? If you cried as a man, like I could see a woman absolutely like you should abort that relationship like immediately. Get the out.
A lot of those guys, and I'm not saying men, a lot of those guys are going to say stuff like, yeah, I was loyal, faithful, did this, did that, provided, and she cheated on me with the people that we are protesting against. A toxic masculine person.
How is it toxic to be masculine? That's my biggest
That's the
question.
narrative they put out there.
I'm sorry.
Destroy them.
I'm not crying.
Okay, so why? An actress actually tweeted this the other day. She said, "Why is it okay to applaud feminine qualities in a man and like to boo masculine qualities? Why is that toxic? And why is it okay to applaud masculinity in women but not femininity?" I'm like, that's a fair point, and you'll probably be canceled soon. That's true.
Farewell.
But hey,
you're canceled to her. I agree.
I'll watch you. I'll watch more of your movies. Her name was Evangeline Lilly. She played. She was in Lost.
Oh yeah.
She was the Wasp in the Ant-Man.
Wasp. Nice. Okay.
And Toriel in The Hobbit. I'm glad I was raised in the era I was. I think I was at the tail end, it seems like, of that. But thankfully, I had you, my older brother, and my father to make a man out of me, and teach me to appreciate manly things.
A gentleman.
Here's one of the reasons why I'm a gentleman.
Gentle manly.
Exactly. And the other reason is my father. Cheers to you.
2 packs of smoke.
And that's what I love about it, because Dad and Chris are like family to me. I would do anything for them. So, but yeah, that's
like family. Got it.
okay. So yeah, so as far as that goes, I can't be embarrassed. I would be uncomfortable.
I have no shame. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah,
I mean,
you should have no shame. There's nothing to be ashamed about.
I would choose option B because I know I do good work. I mean, hey, I'm not opening my phone constantly and having that go off. I mean, that's like, I'm uncomfortable. I'm less comfortable about having that on my phone all the time because that just makes me seem like a creep. Over like, if somebody came to me and said, hey, how'd this video get released of you and this person hooking up? I'd be like, dude.
That's a whole discussion in morality.
I don't know.
That's a whole
It is
discussion.
what it is. It's like, I mean, I don't, it's out there. That's me. That's in fact me. Nothing I can do about it now. But like opening up my phone constantly, my friends are like, dude, can you please close the browser out every week with you? Like every time you take out your phone, it's just, golly, close a browser. I just seem like an idiot.
Alrighty. You know, that was actually a pretty good take. It could have definitely gone a much more disturbing route than it did.
It was pretty disturbing.
Yeah. I can't imagine what it would have been like had we had Senior Kyle, subject matter expert, on the show. Whew.
He'd probably be like, both those things happen to me regularly.
He might have been like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not gonna lie.
Happens all the time. Just saying.
He was the inspiration for your hot take, right?
Possibly. Quite possibly.
Subject matter expert. Alrighty. Well,
Crazy take.
Hey, crazy take.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Good job. Well, who's up for a challenge for the day?
I could do a challenge.
All right.
Yeah, you talked me into it.
Who amongst
With
us?
my arm.
Who do you think amongst us today will be the better man?
I am going to be as humble as possible, and I'm going to say JD.
My man. My man.
Give JD. Yeah.
I wouldn't have expected that. Who's
He's overdue for a victory.
I would say that as a competitor I have gone against, and I know that they are a very strong competitor, I would have to give Chris the nod.
Thanks, Mac. Thank you. Thanks, Mac.
You know that moment when your hopes and dreams just go.
Yeah, grinding to a halt. This is the first time that we've done like pre-game. Like,
Shit talking.
I'm gonna go with the person I feel that is indeed the most qualified, and I'm talking about everybody's favorite host and mine, JDD.
leave it to him. to pick
Yes.
himself.
Yes.
Hey, gotta believe in myself.
That's 2 for you.
Karma.
Okay.
That's a double dumbass on me.
So now, remember this, audience. I am the underdog. I got 0 votes. So if I win, shame on you guys. If I lose, it's not my fault. I was the underdog. Here's how the game is going to work. Okay. As our guest, would you like to play first? Would you like to be the first one to go?
I will defer to the 2-time hypothetical winner here.
Okay. So JD, you will be first.
Okay.
So we're gonna basically, we've gone to this well a couple times, so you should know the vibes. We're gonna ask you a question. We're gonna go from who am I to where am I to what am I to hard ass questions, and we're gonna go until somebody eats 10 bad beans. The
10
first
bad
one to
beans.
10 bad beans, you are officially out. And then we'll keep going until the second person has eaten their 10 bad beans. So we're going to ask a question. If you get it right, you get to give a bean to the other 2 participants
Ooh.
of your choosing. They have to eat it. Each bean has one good one and one bad one. So you would just choose the color and either get good or bad. If you get a bad one, you get a point against you. If you get to 10, you lose.
So this is similar to the egg smash trivia
Correct.
we did, where if it was hard boiled, you'd get a free pass, but if it was a raw egg, the point counted against you.
Right, so 50% of the game is just get your questions right. And then 50% of the game is choose the better one instead of the bad one.
So we had tortilla trivia, we had egg smash trivia, and now we have jelly bean trivia elimination round.
I'm gonna be honest. There's a couple flavors in there that I don't want.
Well, let's announce.
Should we run some?
We could announce them, yes.
Okay.
We have the following flavors:
Juicy pear or booger, buttered popcorn, counterpart rotten egg, cappuccino, counterpart liver and onions, toasted marshmallow or stink bug, pomegranate or old bandage, tutti frutti or stinky socks, peach or barf, birthday cake, dirty dishwater, berry blue or toothpaste, strawberry banana smoothie or dead fish. So those are the choices. If you get it right, you get to give a bean of your choice to the other two people. If you get it wrong, then you have to eat the bean that the other fellows choose for you.
Okay.
Whoever read it. This is Who Am I? I'm a rapper. My legal name is Tracy Marrow. My favorite ladies are Coco and Chanel. I star in Leprechaun in the Hood. I am a head of a rhyme syndicate. I am a star of Law and Order SVU. I share my stage name with a refreshing beverage.
Well, I got news for you. I think it's iced tea.
It is in fact iced tea. See, the beverage part made it to where you wouldn't take the mistake and accidentally say ice cube.
Chris, let's do pomegranate or old bandage.
Oh, why would you do that to me?
Okay. So let's see. Let's see if we get a good one or a bad one.
I got the bad one. I got the Band-Aid. Can we get a spit tune?
Hold on.
It's just nasty.
Oh. What did the old bandage? Does it actually taste like old bandage or just nasty?
It does.
Can I taste? Can I just?
It
take
tastes
his
like
kind?
it's a mixture of rubber and soiled gauze. You can taste the fibers. It's weird.
That is weird. Oh yeah, go ahead and do one of his.
Oh.
Here. See what I mean?
Are we going with old bandage on that one
That's
too?
See what I mean?
That's gross. Oh man.
Okay,
I can't believe you kept it in your mouth that long. That was gross.
Chris, you're a trooper.
That was gross.
Am I?
That was instantaneously.
Yes. Who am I?
You're Chris.
I kind of felt like we just talked about this individual as well.
Sweet.
I'm an American actor. I have played many soldiers. I have acted in Shakespeare on stage and screen. I have played multiple policemen and a gangster. I have a son named after Malcolm X. I played basketball with my son because he got game. I have won the Best Actor Oscar twice so far.
Denzel Washington?
That is correct.
That is correct.
Okay, so you both will be. No, I want you to eat buttered popcorn, which is this one, or rotten egg.
This
And then
is.
I want you.
Be gentle.
I want you to try the strawberry smoothie dead fish.
Here we go.
What was the good part?
Huh.
It was
This is actually no joke. This is buttered popcorn.
strawberry banana smoothie or dead fish.
Yeah. Okay, good.
So you got a good one. You got a good
This
one.
is buttered popcorn.
Dang it.
It actually tastes really good. Really.
Okay, where am I? I used to be the center of an empire. Loosely translated, I mean gate of God. Nobody lives here anymore. Many think I love to garden. The Tigris and Euphrates rivers kept me fertile. I am in Iraq. I was part of ancient Mesopotamia.
That's gonna be one of two things. That's either gonna be. It is one or two. Iraq was this, and then Iran was that. I'm gonna say Babylon.
That's correct.
Yeah. I was confused between that and Persia. Okay, so Babylon. Let's see here. Matt, go for the cappuccino, liver, and onions. And Chris, let's go ahead and do the toasted marshmallow stink bug.
Toasted marshmallow or stink bug? Son of a bitch.
So there is a stink bug in there. Yours was liver and onions or
Wow.
cappuccino, right?
He doesn't know what he's tasting now.
Mine's bad. Puerto Rico?
Very good.
Okay. Pomegranate old bandage for you. You get to do peach or barf.
Oh, God.
So,
All right, here we go.
I mean, I don't even know how you would materialize barf.
Like this.
You got the bandage tape.
My,
Like this one.
dude, oh my God.
That bandage one is awful.
Okay, so I believed you when you said, oh my gosh. Hold on. When you said it tasted like,
You could taste the fibers in the gauze.
I ate something that was
and
bad
it's
between
soiled.
then.
It's a soiled bandage.
I ate the stink bug or liver and onions since that, and I still taste the bandage.
okay, guys.
Like that was all three of us. Have
we
tasted
all-
it.
Okay, that's disgusting.
That's freaking
That's,
atrocious.
so far, that's the worst one.
That should be a war crime.
Yeah, good Lord.
War crime.
And scarily accurate. One of my beaches is Copacabana. My people speak Portuguese. Where am I?
Rio de Janeiro.
Correct.
JD did me dirty. The very first round as he guessed. So, JD, I need you to do pomegranate or old bandage.
Pomegranate or douchebag? Got it. I mean,
Yes.
Well, we've got rid of three of the bad ones.
I don't know what you're laughing at because I need you to do the juicy pear or the booger.
pomegranate. Thank you, God.
That's a shame.
I think it got warm.
Mac eats his
Warm?
boogers.
The Appaloosa is one of my types. My shoes are made of metal.
Horse.
The Lone Ranger.
What is horse?
Ding, 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 ding.
What was your request?
Toothpaste or berry?
You know what? I support that. Let's do that.
Oh, hell yes.
Any last minute requests, JD?
Hit me.
Pomegranate or old bandage?
I'm never giving you a bandage again, by the way.
I
That
love.
was awesome.
I love my brother, folks.
No, I got berry.
He's starting.
I didn't.
He's starting to cry.
Old bandage.
Here. Want your spittoon?
It's stuck to my teeth. I can't spit it out.
I love my brother.
So, the current score is have 3 points each. Now with the hard ass questions, we're gonna double down. You've got to get both questions right, or it's double punishment.
What if you get one right and one wrong? Just a single.
You
punishment?
lose. You lose. You get double punishment.
So you have to get two right.
Yep, that's the point of the hard ass.
But there's no reward for getting one right?
No,
That'd be half-assed.
Hey, that's how
no,
I
it's
live.
double.
I
double
live
or
my whole
nothing.
life that.
Double or nothing, baby. So if you get question one wrong, we just move on.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Which Balkan nation is the only European country that hasn't changed its name since it was established in the year 681?
I have no Balkan idea.
Okay, so you pick one for me, I'll pick one.
I hate both of you.
I'm going peach barf.
Pomegranate or old bandage?
Did you get a bad one just now?
No, this is Peach.
Okay.
I'm laughing at that he chose.
Pomegranate or old bandage?
Mi hermano.
What are big brothers for?
Yeah, it's pomegranate.
It's fruity, not bloody.
That's one. That's the one that it's instantaneously good.
Yeah.
I was
Or
like, oh.
bad. Or bad. They packed a lot into those red ones. So you double scooted by. Awesome. That's cool. Cool story, bro. Mount Olympus.
That is correct.
So you are gonna get Tutti Frutti Stinky Socks, and then grab one of the dark brown with light white.
The liver and onion one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Pop one at a time. You're gonna do pomegranate old bandage.
Mac.
I'm helping you out. Or toasted marshmallow stink bug.
What was yours?
I don't know, but that's nasty.
Okay, that's 1 point.
Pomegranate.
Damn it.
Jesus Murphy. Whatever that's good, that's good. Like it's like birthday cake.
Toasted marshmallow. You know I can't fake that.
He's got 4 straight. Like, you are the luckiest SOB.
Remember the hard-boiled eggs? What did Isaac Newton possibly die from eating?
Apple.
That would be irony.
Mercury is the correct answer. Damn. So,
You can do the juicy booger.
All right, so that's one.
What's yours?
It's not bad.
let's go ahead and do the pomegranate and old bandage.
I don't think we have any more left.
Yeah, there's one right there.
I don't think we have any more left.
Technical error.
I think JD consumed them all.
They were my favorites. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get that red one on top.
This one right here?
Yes, that one right there. That bean
That
right
specific one right there.
there. Yeah, I want you to take that bean and shove it in your mouth.
Okay, that's good.
You're welcome.
What is the name of the port town the Pilgrims sailed from?
Plymouth?
Correct. Which flat-faced Chinese breed of dog is considered the largest of the toy breeds?
Pug.
Yep.
Dear co-host of mine, do pomegranate old bandage. Because you guys. Chris, do the berry blue toothpaste.
Really?
Mother.
I would have thought you would have gotten rid of that one by having me do it.
No. I was trying to. I'm getting back at the ones that were encouraging it too.
That's minty toothpaste.
That,
Damn it.
Who wrote symphonies based on Sleeping Beauty and the Nutcracker?
Who wrote symphonies based on Sleeping Beauty and the Nutcracker?
I'd be nice. I'd be willing to be nice and give you a hint.
Go ahead.
Russian.
Tchaikovsky.
That is correct. What is the body of water between Greece and Turkey?
I can give you a hint if you like.
Not Russian.
The water is wet.
Aegean Sea.
That is correct.
Pretty good.
Oh, man. I felt like that was right. Okay.
You want a Band-Aid, John?
Booger.
I had that one. Yep.
Dark red, orange thing.
All right. Which flavor is this?
I think it's barf.
Just because this is for self-preservation.
This is definitely buttered popcorn, but it doesn't taste good to me.
Yes, the pomegranate old bandage, and that should be the last one.
It is.
That's old bandage.
See, self-preservation.
Give me a cup.
I don't have to eat it.
That buttered popcorn doesn't taste as good as you guys said.
Which Fellini film introduced the word paparazzi?
Fellini? Is that what you said?
Fellini.
I don't know that.
La Dolce Vita.
I didn't know that.
Hit me. Hit me with one.
It's either gonna be peach or barf.
Barf. And he is.
Ew.
Just the sound.
Ew.
You wretch.
That's what I get for getting one wrong. He just doubled up on the peach barf thing.
I'm hoping you get a cleanse your palate.
Oh. You just double barfed me?
Hey, that was. Hey, Dad, that was for you. He's like, how come you know he hated that Mac beat us?
Victory.
That was for the Nerf balls.
Damn, that was wretched.
Which mountain sport debuted at the 1998 Winter Olympics?
Which mountain sport
Yes.
debuted at the 1998 Winter Olympics? Snowboarding.
That is correct.
Okay, this is dead fish or strawberry banana shake. That ain't a shake. That's a fish.
A little fishy.
So that's not that's a fish. Another fish.
That's a fish.
Did you get 3 dead fish in a row?
Yes, I did.
Oh.
It's fun.
Gross.
We kept trying that earlier.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's a comeuppance right there. Good Lord.
3 dead fish back to back to back.
As opposed to 3 Band-Aids.
You're out, JD.
Bar for strawberry banana.
Oh.
That was an immediate reaction.
What was that?
Is that the bar? However, I do believe...
That's a victory for you.
Yes.
What was that last flavor you had, Mac?
It was orange.
Barf.
Orange barf. Okay.
No, I think it was dead fish.
Makes me want to barf.
I know.
All right.
Well, that was not pleasant. We congratulate you on becoming the better man for today.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
It was a hard-fought victory, trust me.
First time champion. I'm glad that I picked the right horse in this race. So,
hey,
what?
good job.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank you, John.
And that's a challenge that I think is disgusting and we should consider not doing again.
I agree.
That's a game I would never play of my own volition.
Yeah. Whose idea was that initially? That's terrible. Now, so once again, on our own damn show, the hosts are the lesser men.
Yeah.
2 weeks running.
I literally, when Cinco de Mayo came around, I told everybody, can you guys throw a competition or two every now and then? And they just keep coming, and they just keep smoking us.
Well, as Chris is our as a reappearance guest, you know, he came back with a vengeance. He said he would. He actually said that in the outro of the St. Patrick's Day video.
I'll be back.
Yeah.
Do-do-do-do-do.
This time he wishes we got to shoot people. So, as the better man, generally you get to either play or defer when it comes to hot takes. Would you like to kick us off with a hot take, or would you like one of us to take it away?
I will defer.
So since you deferred, I guess I will take it away. My hot take is that cats should not be house pets. I don't like cats. Not a big cat fan. I understand why you have dogs. Dogs are, cute, cuddly companions. They take care of you. They protect you. They love on you. They interact with your children. They're there in everyday life in all facets. Cats kind of just sit there and stalk around and act like they don't want to be there. Have you ever seen there's a comic strip that is like, it's this dog. He's like, oh, food. Oh, let's play catch. Oh, all these different things. And then it's a cat and it's like writing in a journal. It's like day 93 of captivity.
Captivity.
That's basically the way I see cats. Cats are basically like, I don't really want to be here. I don't want to. I mean, there are some cats that'll sit in your lap and like love on you and purr and stuff like that, but it's very rare. I just don't. If I walk into a house and it's just full of cats, I'm like, there is something off here. Why you would pick these animals to be your best friend?
I am 100% in agreement with you on that. I've had cats when I was a child. I've had cats as an adult because my wife really wanted a cat. We were gifted a cat from a coworker. But the only time I'm going to say yes to a cat is if your lifestyle requires having a low maintenance animal that's going to go live its own life. Have a cat, by all means. I'll suggest that for anyone, that because a dog requires a lot of attention and companionship. There was a stand-up comedian by the name of Pete Holmes. He said he was more of a cat person because he realized how easy it was. He said, I got a dog, and I just sat here, and I'm trying to watch a TV show and have dinner, and he just puts his head in my lap and I'm like, go live your life. And the dog's like, you are my life. Versus a cat who, just say, piss off and live its life. So yeah, if you're a very busy person and require a low maintenance animal, get a cat. But I don't recommend a cat for children. I don't recommend a cat for general family activities. I said we had one. Do you know what happened? I had two. Actually,
They got ran over?
I came home from work one night. I'm sitting in my driveway, and we lived out kind of in the country. I pulled up my driveway, rolled the window down. I'm chilling. It jumps into the window like it always does. Say hi, and hey Ben, how you doing? I'm petting him, and we're talking. And then like something, I heard this noise behind me, and I looked back. He freaking attacked me. Not just like how cats do, you know. It's like he attacked me so hard, so hard. But he attacked me that he latched onto my hand, started tearing the finger up. I'm telling you, he's chewing through to bone, scratching the ever living out of me like he was, I don't know, he was fighting for his life or something.
He went feral.
I couldn't, he went feral. I could not get out of the truck fast enough because I'm belted in, and I'm like, dude. And so I finally got him off of me, opened the door, and he runs out, and I'm just like, I am a bloody freaking mess. I was like, I've never had that much blood loss before. I'm like, whoa, can't find the cat. It's the middle of the night. I have to go to the ER. They give me, of course, rabies shots. Now I thought it was the rabies shots where, you know, they do the stomach.
Yeah.
No, they've changed that. That's the old ways. So what they do is they give you 16 shots, like in the thighs, on the sides, in the arms, all over. And then they 16 shots. And that's just one round of shots you have to have. You have to go back and do it again, and you have to go back and do it again over the course of several weeks.
32.
I added it up to, it was going to be at least 64 shots.
Wow.
And the final shots, not the final shots of the whole thing. No, at the end of the 16, they inject your wounds. I had to sit there, watch this nurse put a needle in my open wounds. And let me tell you, the nerve endings on that were the most painful experience of my life. And I'm like, I'm looking at my wife, and I'm looking at this nurse. I am doing this to the nurse. I'm about to break your nose. Because they don't do that quick. It's, and they wiggle it. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh my gosh. Most painful experience I've ever had. So, just on the finger. And then, of course, they're like, well, we got to catch the cat. We got to make sure it's not rabid. So we had to put it down. And which I was okay with at that point. I was all bandaged up. It was infected. My finger was like this big. It was huge. I had to take off like 2 or 3 days of work because I couldn't function. And so they killed the cat. They put him down, and then they had I guess to test for rabies, they have to cut its head off and send it to like some facility. Yeah. Again, I thought that was a pretty fitting ending.
Yeah, they have to test the brain. Yeah.
And then they send it back to you. You put it on a spike in your front yard.
As
a trophy.
And so when it was
like all scratch me.
This is an animal I bonded with. I did like him. We bonded for 3 years. And then this happened just out of the blue. That's why it was so shocking. But like I said, I was done with him. I was like, Ben, you're going to heaven now. And so, yeah, I had to recover from it. The funny thing is, I had called into my work. I talked to my HR person. I told him what happened. He's like, oh, yeah, take off. Okay, cool. So I come back to work. You know what happens when I come back to work? My coworkers are going, oh, no. I'm like, wow, my HR person told everybody or told somebody, and it leaked.
The only good thing from cats that I can think of
there are cool cats,
there's a song called Sail, but they put cats to that song. And there's like cats just like jumping and like to the beat. It's hard to explain, but it's pretty funny. They're like jumping off ledges and like doing like dumb stuff where they like jump up for a lace or they like land on their back and stuff.
I mean, who doesn't like cats in pop culture though? I mean, Garfield, Bill the Cat.
Oh yeah.
You know, in the comic scenes, and then so
they're cool as comics. They're just not good pets. I mean, I know there's a lot of cat people, but I'm not a cat person.
So my opinions changed. Growing up, I loved dogs, you know. But as I get older, I'm thinking, you know what, cat appeals to me.
Mm-hmm.
You had a pretty cool cat.
Right. You know, I took a tour on Route 66, you know, from Chicago to California. We left the cat at home. The cat was fine all week long. Self-reliant. You can't do that with a dog.
You just left like a bunch of food out and water?
Oh, yeah. We changed the litter box before we left.
Self-sustaining.
Exactly.
Nice.
You cannot do that with a dog.
No, my parents are constantly like having to leave
dog.
events to go home and let their dog out.
Exactly. Or you have to kennel it if you want to take a day trip.
Like, yeah. We gotta hurry home and let the dog out. I'm like,
yeah.
You've been going for 4 hours. My parents.
Who lets the dog out?
Who?
Who?
We're dumb sometimes. I tell you, we get dumb sometimes.
So on my hot take, I got a little bit of show and tell for you. So, but before
Show and tell. I loved show and tell in school.
Before I show, let me tell. I would like to talk about. It's kind of twofold: the fact that it happened and the fact that it's endorsed.
Okay.
So the fact I'm talking about tap water.
Okay.
The water you drink out of. So you have, everyone will recommend, hell yeah, your tap water is safe to drink. And they would be pissed at me right now saying, not really, because your water's not clean. They put fluoride in it supposedly to help you. That's not healthy. They put and chlorine, I believe, too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do all this stuff. It's actually not good for you. And not to mention all the other sediments, all the other things in there that shouldn't be there. And yet they're going to tell you, don't buy bottled water. How dare you?
Who said don't buy bottled water?
Like almost every city, state, government getting on to you for, first of all, polluting the earth by buying plastic bottles. How dare you? Second, use our water. We provide it for you. And funny little thing, where my father lives, he moved into a town, and the town told him when he moved in, do not drink the water. Just don't. So these people are peddling this crap water to you shamelessly. They're just promoting it shamelessly. And you don't realize what you're doing to yourself by putting all kinds of things in your body you should not have. Because it's not just the chlorine, it's not just the fluoride, it's the unknowns, or is it known? You always have to detox it. You have to do like a detox to just get the bad and the poisons out that are in your water.
So that's scary in and of itself.
You know what's growing up? Either I was a kid and I just can't tell the difference. But when I was growing up, I liked the water. I loved drinking water.
From the hose outside.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But no, I would drink from the sink, love it, and then move on. I think we have since changed our source where we get the water. So now it's not just bad whenever the lake turns and so it tastes like algae and mossy and stinky. It's year round. It's disgusting for me personally. I was like, ugh. Get a filter on your sink or just drink bottled water like I do or something. So I learned things like how to measure that stuff in the water. So today's on Gentleman's Show and Tell, before us here is 3 different samples of water, not vodka, not tequila. Sorry, Kyle. And the big one is going to be from our tap water, our sink. This one is going to be Ozarka drinking water, and I'm going to say that because just drink Ozarka. The third one is actually distilled water. Now, believe it or not, there's an old wives' tale that you should never drink distilled water. It's bad for you. It steals the nutrients. I've come across some research that says different. But I also don't drink it. I don't drink it. I'm just saying you can drink it. So 3 different types of water, and let's go ahead and see what levels they're at. So to do that, we have what's called a TDS meter. Wow. And here's what I know about the TDS ranking. So when it comes to drinking water, the ideal drinking water is if you get the numbers 1 through 50.
Okay.
Lower being the best, of course. Mm-hmm. Anything beyond that, it's unsafe. So that's where they have it. So you have to measure what's called parts per million, I believe that's the measurement. So the more parts per million you have, the worse it is for you. So think about that. Let's go ahead and do.
When you're doing parts per million, that decimal place really matters.
Exactly. So we're going to start with parts per million. I said the lower, the better for distilled water. Let's see what it comes up as. Right now I'm getting a 1 parts per million. That's 1. It was reading 0 and went to 1. Ideally, that's pretty darn safe. Let's do the Ozarka drinking spring water. All right, so that is at 20 parts per million. 20. That's still pretty good because it's supposed to be 0 through 50 is ideal. All right. That's what I drink. Now let's go for straight out of the sink, what the city promotes.
That went red. And it went red quick.
We're currently at 108 parts per million.
Oh, wow.
108. So there is stuff in this particular water from this region that is not good for you. But this is what they're saying is the better option than, say, 20 parts per million, which is in the green, and 1 part per million in the green. So what does that tell you when it comes to tap water when it comes to the water that's promoted by the people saying, hey, drink it, trust us, since we're so pro-government on the show. Gentlemen, I propose a toast. But no, anyway, so
Yeah.
that's just an example. I just to prove a point, the water is not, at least in where we're at and most places I know of, because like I said, there's a lot of towns people have done this and researched on saying our water's not clean, it's not safe, and this is cluttered. You saw the meter turn red, and this is what they want you to drink. This is poisoning you, and this will poison you over time. Your body fights this and does, fight it off the best of its ability. But eventually, stuff like this, it's going to eventually take its toll. So you want something in the ideal range. Otherwise,
So is that just measuring every single thing that's not H2O straight? It's measuring every other chemical
Any
compound?
Yes.
particulates. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's what a TDS meter does.
Yeah.
So
if you poured like a packet of sugar in there, it would just spike it.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay, so anything, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah,
it's
if
detected.
you're if you're sensitive about that stuff, get you a TDS meter. These things are very helpful to have, especially if you're doing research for a healthier lifestyle. And since we require water for survival, make sure you don't have a tainted water source. Plain and simple. So here's what's funny: not all bottled water is safe or good for you. So when you have, like, say, Aquafina, that's a Pepsi product. Mm-hmm. They get that from tap and put it through some random filter. If you check the parts per million on Aquafina or Coca-Cola's Dasani, which tastes like crap, by the way.
Yeah, Dasani tastes like
the parts per million is high. I mean, there's a lot of brands out there that are okay, like Smart Water, but man, Smart Water is expensive.
Fiji. It's
Fiji,
like,
yeah.
Oh my goodness, I'm not gonna pay $4 for
Or Life Water, I think, is
bottle.
another one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, when it's all said and done, we landed with, and they can sponsor us or not, I don't care, Ozarka. Our father turned me on to this, I would say, about 15 years ago. He goes, drink it. I mean, so he was like adamant about the spring water aspect, that it's bottled fresh and everything. And I was worried about whenever we tried the TDS meter on it. I'm like, oh no, my dreams are about to get crushed. And they come to find out, green. Yeah.
Well, that was eye-opening. So I appreciate you showing us that.
Yeah.
Good telling, too.
Definitely hydrate, but make sure you're hydrating.
Hydration is continuous.
Indeed. Especially after jelly beans. So, Better Man. Better Man, do you have a hot take for us today?
I do. Quite recently, our friends across the pond have coronated a new king. Is it relevant in this day and age? Do we need royalty? Do we need a monarchy? What's the point? Are we doing it just for tradition? That's a question.
I mean, I would
Needs
say
to be answered.
on the surface, the world would say, yeah, it's a tradition. Why not keep that up? But
Well, I mean, they have Parliament that makes most of their rules.
they have Parliament. However, if you go to if Kyle were here, if you go into conspiracy land, it's a lot deeper as far as having a king and queen, as far as their reach that they still have. But outside of that, for your average viewer and for a citizen, it seems pointless, and they've never corrected on that. They never said you're right, we're pointless and it's all for show, but they're not saying anything else either. So for anyone else concerned, it's just for show. And
That's a very expensive show.
very expensive show. Like, well, Prince Charles, he's been around since forever. But I remember hearing about how he came into media prominence, like real media prominence, whenever he married Diana.
Oh, yeah.
In the 80s. So,
Absolutely.
I mean, I was a child at that point in time, but I'm just like, wow, he really picked up steam, and it seemed like everyone wanted him to go away, and he wouldn't. And he didn't seem to. He went away about the time they divorced, and then he would pop up every now and then. Because you know how you'd know he'd pop up? You'd see him on TV and you'd go, go back in the castle.
But if there's no function, there's no, what is the point of having a royalty or a monarchy? And to be fair, it doesn't have to be just England. Pick another country in the world that has royalty in it. Why is it necessary?
I mean, Chris, honestly, I think the one country that benefits, that would have a king, would be the kingdom of Denbow
Oh,
where it'd be more of an Arthurian rule.
I see.
and the round table. But that was
If it's a good idea, you shouldn't have to pitch it as hard as you do.
well. I'm just refreshing our viewers that there is a successful kingdom out there waiting to happen.
That is a good idea because as the elder brother, it would be my birthright.
Denbow Stein.
Although I would definitely rename. We got to definitely rethink the name. It's Stein.
Stein, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was because of Liechtenstein.
It was.
Okay.
But as the joke.
Yeah.
And thankfully, we're not a Game of Thrones family.
Why? Because then you guys would have sex with each other?
No, I had a feeling you were going to say that. I really did.
I mean, that's all I know about families in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Maybe we could be
Isn't
like
they bang each other?
Jamie. If we had to be the Lannisters, we could be like Jamie and Tyrion. They were always cool with each other.
That's
Yeah.
the midget.
Yeah. So
Good take.
I like how like this week we're shitting on the Royals. But yeah. So other than like it looks like a puppet structure setup. Yeah, I personally think if I go, I'll go a little more on the conspiracy side as far as my belief. There's a function there, but to what extent? Who really knows? There are hints about it. There are a lot of allusions to, but
Okay.
I don't know. You start getting to the secret society type stuff.
I just
Then-
haven't looked enough into how they currently operate and organize themselves to know like how much sway they still have.
I'm being very sensitive on the conspiracy portion of that. So sorry, Kyle, but I know what you know.
Well, England has a prime minister.
Right.
England has parliament. But, that's the power structure. That's where their true power is. Again, I think the royalty is just a figurehead.
But if the Queen, say you're a member of Parliament, and the Queen comes to you and says, "Hey, this is what I want you to do," how much sway would that have?
I bet you it would have a lot of influence.
So, I mean, it's still
It's an influence.
it's
Roll her old bones out here. We have to use her to get some kind of treaty signed somewhere.
Exactly.
I think that'll about wrap up the hot take. We were pretty educational with,
Don't call another grown man king. Ever.
Yes, King. Here, King, you drop this. Your crown.
If you're a man, don't ever call another grown
Slay
man
it, King.
Just don't do it.
Yes, Queen. I was going to prank you with that on this show and call you that one day. I forgot. But anyway, yeah. So with the kings, queens.
Yeah, the only king I'll worship is my king bed.
So between that and obviously
King.
here at Gentleman's Take, we are not cat people. Well, our guest is, and I have nothing against cats personally. I just don't want a cat, and I gave my reasons why. I'm definitely suited to having dogs, and then also drink water, drink your water, hydrate, but make sure you're drinking good water. Take care of yourself out there, because no one else is looking out for you except us.
Just us, the three of us.
Spread and share this video as far to the far reaches of the internet so everyone can see to test their water. That's how much we, the Gentleman's Take brand, cares. We don't care about subscribers or growing the channel or being monetized in any way, shape, or form. We just care about you. So, I think that'll about wrap it up for us today. Besides those hot takes, I think the crazy take was actually pretty entertaining as far as the inappropriate phone experience or the inappropriate video sharing. Pop culture was a lot of fun. I learned a lot of fun things.
That was a good discussion.
Good stuff.
I also learned Gladiator 2 is a thing. And also, we established who the better man was for the episode. Once again, our gentleman guest. That's 3 guests that have won. That's the only time I'll keep score is when the gentleman guests are the winners. So if you're on the show at all coming up for our season finale on any of these remaining episodes, you better not win. Other than that, Chris, did you by chance have a good time today?
I did, guys. This was again another fantastic experience. Thank you again for having me on the show. Really, and I'm going to go throw up now after all those jelly beans we ate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that flavor
Yeah,
just not
so-
going away, is it?
Always a pleasure to have you.
Thank
Definitely
you.
didn't taste good.
Yeah, in between takes,
Okay.
I burped Old Bandage. Just thought you should know that.
Yeah, it left a bad taste in my mouth.
We here,
Being on this show. Yeah.
Gentleman's Take, we're bound to do that. So, Yeah, Chris, thanks for coming on again. And we know your time is valuable, and we thank you for sharing it with us. You have a lot of insight to offer, and even after all these years, I still can learn from my brother. Family, folks. Other than that, I'd say be sure to check him out at chrisdenbow.com and follow him on his Twitter page. He has his photography skills are the best that I've seen, and I might be a little biased. I don't know.
You were too kind. I appreciate it.
Check out his blog. Check out his podcast. You have such a content-packed site, by the way.
Thank you. Well, I try to do little diverse topics, because I like a variety of topics. I like something new, something different, something to stimulate my mind.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The same thing with photography. There's a wide variety of topics I like to cover.
I've actually gotten lost, or not lost. I've actually gone down like the rabbit hole or wormhole
or the black hole.
Or the black hole on your site and just going from one thing to the other. It's like, oh, that's interesting. So yeah, you put a lot of thought and a lot of stuff into it. So
you're too kind. Thank you.
It's good stuff. But yeah, go ahead and go to chrisdenbow.com. And
I do defer to you as the more creative brother.
This guy.
Like I said, the way you gentlemen create this show is amazing. I don't have the time, the talent, or the discipline that you both have. So well done to both you gentlemen.
Keep it coming.
So
I'm gonna faint.
Right? Yeah. I'm over here just going, that's a lucky gal you got back at home. But no, thank you very much. And it's always a good time. And it's always good to bring, the fact that you see it, now you get to be a part of it. We want more people. We want a lot of guests and just to share it with us. So it's either way, we're literally still just shooting the shit. All right. Well, other than that, between all of our takes, I think we covered everything in a manner most refined. And it all came together and formed a perfect take.
Or a gentleman's take.
See, I'm doing it again. Yep. That's what we do. So
bilingual over here now. One episode and you're bilingual.
I am bi.
We're trying to reach more
lingual.
Bilingual.
Dramatic. Oh, so until we meet again, be sure to sit back, sip some bourbon,
smoke a stogie,
and appreciate the finer things in life.
Threesome.
Folks, drink your bourbon. It's like nothing. No, I'm kidding. It died. The Audience Take.
We want to hear from you.
Any suggestions or requests for future takes, challenges, comeuppance, or criticisms, please email us at AGentlemansTakePodcast@gmail.com.
Don't forget to check out our Twitter and Instagram pages for exclusive content.